Okay, so I want to talk about some of the best and worst cubes that came out in 2012 so far. So, I'll talk about some of the best one, and then talk about some of the worst one. Now, a lot of these that I will mention, I don't have because I haven't bought them yet, or I can't afford them because they're really expensive, like $200, $300, and I usually don't spend that much on these cubes. Now, first one would be Diamond Megaminx. It's very good. Now we can have another choice between getting Megaminxes. And since Diamond has been making really good 3x3, and they decided to make a Megaminx, yes, that is good. Now we can choose between either the Diamond Megaminx, MFA, Mappa, Chinaminx, and some of those other non-well-known brands like Edison, and some others. Yeah. And then next would be another Diamond Cube. Mini Diamond. The Mini Diamond Thingy. Now, this I like. I have the 42mm one. And I've played around with 50 and 55mm. 55mm is just about 2mm smaller than the regular 57mm Thingy, and I don't think it's much different. But the 50mm one, really good for 08 that I heard. And it's like really good. This 42mm stickerless is really good. I like it because I can just put in my pocket and then take it out whenever I'm in public and practice up on OLL, PLL, F2L, and stuff like that. And then next would be this Rubik's brand Void Cube. This is far best out there. I've only played with several different types of Void Cubes. Land, Toysmith, Rubik's, and that's it. And the Land right out of the box sucks. And Toysmith turns really good, like this one right out of the box. Yeah, and this is like really good, but the only downside is it's made by Rubik's, and Rubik's has bad sticker quality, and stickers you cannot get very well. Only on Trybox.com, which is Yu Nakajima's online store that's in Japan. And yeah, it's way better than this standard Void Cube. This next one that I'm going to talk about is one of my favorite so far that I've owned. This plush soft Rubik's 2x2. It has a core that's very similar to some of the other puzzles, like this 4x4 core. Yeah, it has that ball core, and this is really good, and it's the biggest 2x2 out there on the market. And then, yeah, those are puzzles that I own that I really like that came out in 2012. And then the one that I really like and wish I have that have came out in 2012 are some of the newer MFA with Eden and Mappa puzzles and Calvin brand puzzle. And then there's some others, like the F4, the new, I've seen some information around about this really weird alpha cube that, like, looks like Diane, but not really Diane. It's really weird how it's put together, and I'll put links to all this in the description, and I'll have a slideshow at the end of showing all the pictures of some of these really awesome puzzles, and then some of the bad ones. Like, and then there's, like, the Wit Eden puzzle that I really like that came out in 2012 are the camouflage cubes, the 4x4s, yeah, and stuff like that. With the 4x4, they have a 46mm, 45mm one, which is a little bit bigger than this. Like about, it's in between these two puzzles. Yeah, it's in between the size of them. Bigger than this, but smaller than this. 2x2. And then, some of the MFA puzzles that came out in 2012 that I like is the Pedimings. And I mean, like, wow. You finally got, someone factory made a Pedimings. And then there's an Exedimings, which is one layer above that, which is not factory made, and it's 3D printed, and it is made by Matthew Banner, if I pronounce his name correctly. And I'll link video to it down below, and stuff like that about it. And, yeah. And then there's this newer puzzle that came out not too long ago that's along the lines of this, which is Avoid Timings. And that is like, wow. Avoid Timings, and then the snowy puzzle, and the, I forget what that other puzzle, my very puzzle is, the star puzzle that looks like 32-sided Alexander Star. And then there's some Metroid puzzles that came out in 2012, which I really like the new 1x2x9, and then there's one puzzle that looks like a snail shell that has 3 layers, and it's really weird the way it is, and it's just weird. Yeah. And along the lines of Metroid, there's a secret website club thing that so many people know about because they have people that have invitation to that website club thing, which I have one left that I'm saving for a contest at some point to give away. And some of the puzzles that they came out that in there is like a newer version of, like, different versions of the 1x2x9 and that snail shell puzzle. And then they just recently came out with a gear cube ball. Like, it's exactly the same thing as Gear Cube, but it's in the ball shape. Yeah. And then, like, Metroid has been producing some newer puzzles. Like, when they released their, Master, Pyraminx, they released it on the, Jade Club, which is essentially that secret Metroid's website, like, several months before they actually released it on the, Metroid's website. So you can get exclusive content. And yeah, and those were some of the best ones because most of them are like, wow, just imagining how it's possible to get it factory made, produced. And the ones that I didn't talk about are the Calvin puzzles, like the Dino Cube, the and some of the others. They just released a Dino Morphing, which is tetrahedron shape mod of the Dino Cube. Yeah, which originally made by Triform. Yay, pretty good puzzle builder. Yeah. And then now talking about the worst ones that came out in 2012. Like, the ones that came out in 2012 are mostly 3x3s, and some of them others are like, eh. Oh, also I forgot, some of the best ones would be the SingShao No. 9 and SingShao Pyraminx. With SingShao Pyraminx, we can have more choices between Methods, QJ, and the and some of the other cheaper ones out there. And then for the 9x9, finally we get to see a really good working 9x9 out in factory made that's cubic and that's not the YJ one. And now talk about the bad one. The first one would be the VCube 3x3. God. When we heard about VCube making a 3x3, we were expecting like a 3x3 that looks similar to this, but instead we got like a more blockier Guhong, like a Guhong that did not get the rigid curve on the corner shock. Like, this part was never even added, where it was more blockier. Yeah. And that created a whole bunch of controversy between Diane and VCube. And then another bad cube. Well, this is not really a bad cube, but it's one that I expected to be really good, but turned out to be bad after seeing a review of it. It's the Marvel's Brain Cube, which is essentially a 3x3 that's like, had little mazes and stuff on it to look like a brain. And after seeing Red KB's review of it, the edges look like this, and the plastic of it is like sort of like this, was really thin and weak, and it's like doesn't turn that well of a 3x3. Yeah, like, it goes for $35 and it turns like crap and really weak plastic. That's really disappointing on the price of that. And then another disappointing thing that came out was, I don't know, but, well, basically the bad thing was that, but it wasn't that much bad cubes, except for stuff like the Diane saying that they're gonna come out with the 6th model of the Diane cube, which when the information was released that they're gonna make one, everyone was like, wow, yes, finally, we wanna see what the new cube is, and if it's better than the, dancing. But they failed on prototypes and stuff, and so they had to order, like, change the date of release to a later date, which happens to be somewhere around Chinese New Year's, or something like that. Yeah, and yeah, then some other really good cubes that came out 2012 would be the SingShao 8x8, which very first factory made 8x8 out there, and it's really cool. Yeah, but nonetheless, those are some of the good cubes and good Rubik's Cube puzzles that came out. But there are some that are coming out that I'm still confused about. Like, there's some that are coming out that are like, wow, this is like, okay, yeah. But I'm not, some of them are like really good, some of them are bad, but yeah. Here's now the slideshow of the puzzles, all the puzzles that I mentioned that I don't have with me to show you. I forgot to mention another bad cube that came out would be the Eden 2x2 version 2, which, yeah, I've seen Crazy Bad Cuber's review of it, and he said that it's like really loose, and if you tighten it, so that it's not that loose, the corner cutting gets, like, doesn't happen that much. Like, the corner cutting is not that good anymore. Yeah, and also that it's like, if you try to take apart, it like, you wouldn't for the normal one, the version 1, it's like, it's like really smaller, wood, and the core is like more like inside, smaller, down in there, and it's like more like the VQ, tiny bit, a little different, but the way Crazy Bad Cuber described it was that it's very loose, and if you try to tighten it, it'll lose all its amazing corner cut abilities and stuff like that. So it seems like an unstable cube for him, and I don't know about other people about it, people's opinions about it. Yeah. And the mini 4x4, like Crazy Bad Cuber said, it's really not that good, but other people saying it's really good. But opinions vary, depends on how you use it, and how you tension the cube, how you work it in, and stuff.